Live again. Welcome to another Monday. What to do. All right. We're all set up. Welcome. Hope you guys had a great weekend. If it's Monday where you are, I don't know, maybe you're on the other side of the world and you're just going to bed. I have no clue. But I hope you guys had a great week, good weekend, and now we're going to start another live Monday. Let's see what we come up with. For me, I've realized after doing a few of these always start off really slow, and I'm left kind of like, I feel like I'm drowning. I don't know what I'm doing. And then usually about the halfway to 3/4 mark of these things, I start hitting my flow. You guys are communicating, you're involved, you're asking questions, and then I feel like I get into a better rhythm. So I imagine this will go the same way. I'll kind of sit here talking for a while until somebody feels the urge to say something, whether it be hello or what are we doing today? So for the time being, hello, welcome. On my teeth, no, that's good. Thank you. Thanks, D-Zone. Thanks for joining, being a part of this. I'm here to just hang out, do whatever. You learn a lot of rigging from me. Well, thank you. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate that. I don't know. Are you, I'm assuming, an After Effects rigger? Is that where you kind of started and now you're testing out the water to see what Moho's like? I have no problem with After Effects. I know if you've watched any of these live streams, it probably sounds like After Effects ruined my life. No, I had a lot of great years with After Effects. I just think Moho is just better. And I have seen in myself a progression in my animation after starting Moho. And I just like it. So no disrespect to After Effects animators. By all means, I'm probably going to be using After Effects. Well, actually, I still use After Effects. You're doing explainers for After Effects and rigging with Duick. Yeah, that's great. Duick is a great tool. Very powerful. And if you can utilize it properly, yeah, it's awesome. So cool. There's a lot of talented people using After Effects, and I think it makes me jealous when people use After Effects and they're like, look at this great stuff I did. And I feel like I'm left with just a bad taste in my mouth from After Effects just because it's so slow. It's like you have Moto too, but yeah, Moho is very challenging to learn. That was kind of the biggest shock for me was how long it actually took me to learn Moho. Yeah, it's just a different language. And I think the thing that kept me going and made me really want to learn Moho was just the fact that you could do complex rigs and then the rig would still work. Whereas After Effects, I would make complex rigs and they wouldn't move. It'd be like, okay, cool, the rig does everything I want it to, almost everything I want it to, and then I couldn't use it. I ended up creating this impossible rig. So that was the downside. Whereas Moho, you can create really complex rigs and they still function smoothly. So that's what kept me going and wanting to learn. And that was the only driving factor, was that I could see possibilities here in Moho that I couldn't do in After Effects. And it just kept me interested. So, yes, I hear you. I feel you. Moho is a difficult thing to learn. And I don't know it yet. I know just enough to get by. And that's all I need for right now, is just enough to get by. And I'll learn the rest as time goes on and I get more proficient with Moho. But yeah, for now I'm just kind of like, and you have a thing that, can you share how you animate characters in Moho and match it with background in AE? Another element like shape, because I think Moho is really good to animate characters in. Yeah, if you're doing motion graphics, I would say After Effects is easier to use. So like, for instance, I had a scene that I did in Moho, and I animated the characters, but then I just had this one little random character that I wanted to come up through these waves. So in Moho, I created these waves and I animated the characters on the waves, but then I had a fish that I wanted to pop out of the water, and I didn't know how to mask that fish character out in Moho. So I took that footage, put it into After Effects, and then I animated the fish coming out of the water in After Effects, and it worked. It worked good, So that's a way that I've used, and I'll show you. I can show you that. That's the way that I've used both programs, and it looks pretty seamless in my opinion. You probably wouldn't even notice or be able to tell that this fish wasn't animated in the same program as Moho. Let's see if I can find that, and then I'll show you just how simple it is, and there's nothing crazy going on. Let me find it. What was that one? Here it is. Okay. So let me just get it loaded up. Okay. So let me show you the let me share my screen. So this is that scene that I'm talking about. So I animated all this stuff in Moho. And so we've got all these guys in a boat. So I rigged the boat. I added the characters into that boat rig. And then I just needed this fish to pop up. And I didn't know how to get that fish into the Moho scene and have it masked out. I'm sure it's super simple. It was just easier, in my opinion, to go, well, let's just do this in After Effects. and then I just did it that way. And I added that rain effect in After Effects. There's just a couple like editing things that were more simple, in my opinion, to do in After Effects. So that's the way that I did it. But everything else is in Moho. So those waves are in Moho. The backgrounds are in Moho. And obviously the characters are all in Moho. What's kind of cool too is, I don't know if you can tell, the characters are kind of like wobbling back and forth as the boat moves. I didn't animate that. That's something that's already built into the characters with their dynamic rig. So like as the boat moves, their torsos are kind of swaying to interact with that movement. Anyway, that's one thing. Here's another scene that I'm working on. This is like a project that I'm working on for just myself. I don't have any dialogue with it yet, but yeah, you have these really cool 3D backgrounds that you can create. And it's just like already kind of built in as like, well, it's going to be 3D. So if you want to have that depth and that dynamic range, you just kind of push your layers forward or backwards, and you can get that 3D effect pretty easily. So it's really cool. So, I mean, and this background's not very well done. I want to fix that up, but you know, these are just some of the simple things that you can do. So like, for instance, if I think that background is maybe too far in the back, you can pull it forward like so, and then it just moves, you know, on its own. And now that's probably maybe too close, or maybe that's perfect. I don't know. Or let's say that the foreground, you want to come forward. You can push it forward. And this is the other cool thing. You can push this foreground forward, but if you notice the composition, see, it'll come forward, but then it snaps back to the same scale. So as it moves forward in Z space or closer to the camera, it scales up, but then when you let go, it snaps back to the original composition size. That's just so cool. Like, such an intuitive way of doing things. Like, I love that. Anyway, so these are kind of the fun things that I'm getting to do and learn. And what's also great is that, I don't know if you've been around for these live streams, but I'm creating this catalog of different animations and actions. And this character here, all I have to do is plug in the animations I've already done, and I have him moving. He's acting to the scene. You know, I've got dialogue with him, and, you know, I don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about his performance because it's already been done. I just copy and paste the keyframes from other characters that I've already animated. It's really great stuff. Oh, and one other thing I like about this, see the tassels on his hoodie? See how they move? Oh, it's just so cool. It's cool because I didn't animate that. It's just like, it's doing its own thing because of physics. Anyway, so this is a fun personal project that I've been working on for years, actually, and I'm just kind of like testing out the waters with animation. I've got this storyboard here that is not even fully done yet. This is about maybe about a third of it, and I've got to keep going. But it's a big story, and I don't know. I'm excited because I feel like this program is going to allow me to make the best version of this story possible. Whereas After Effects, I would think about things and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like that's going to be really challenging to do in After Effects. And now that I have this program, I feel like a whole world has been opened up to me towards like, oh, I can achieve that effect now using this program. Anyway, why don't we do something? Instead of me talking, why don't we do something? The question is, what could we do? What should we do? I gotta fix that foot. The character animation, you just so smooth and do it. So yeah, I think you can make it better in Moho. Yeah, I feel like you can animate better in Moho. I don't know what it is, but there's something about just the way that they interpolate the keyframes. It just feels more smooth. Yeah, I like it. So let's see. What are we going to do? What are we going to do today? Huh? I love these little tassels on his, I don't know, a drawstring. That's what it is. I just love watching them. Just the way they move. It's great stuff. And I feel like that's something that you wouldn't typically see in like a prime time kind of show. I mean, maybe you would if it was picked up for like Netflix or HBO or something like that. You might see that kind of detail in it. Hi, welcome, Arthur. But for the most part, like if you're watching a show on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or Fox, that kind of detail they don't have in there because they're producing these things so quickly. If you want to make some energy jump. Yeah, we could do a jump. A jump is pretty simple. Now, can you explain what kind of jump you want? So you have an energy jump. Are you talking like superpowers? It's going to blast off out of the screen? Or is it just kind of like a normal jump? While you answer that question, I'm going to fix this foot. Because this foot, let's find it. Let's go ahead and, do I want to copy this or do I want, how do I want to do this? Let's try this. Feeling like you're happy to start the day. You're my director. Tell me what to do. Oh, cool. So that works. Let's go negative. Oh, perfect. All right, so I'm going to move this into position. Then I can start to delete these shapes. Oops, not that one. Okay, cool. Yeah, can you explain that jump a little bit more? So it's, you want an energetic jump. I mean, I guess I could just, wait, why is this foot so small? Huh. So is there a reason, a particular reason why this character is going to be jumping? Can you talk about what type of character make you feel love that I love to do the most? Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like I like to do character styles that I like to do are probably more of like kind-hearted in nature, but usually something comical happens to them to kind of ruin their day. If you're looking for like a really great way for an audience to empathize with a main character, probably one of the best ways to do that, even if they are maybe snarky or sarcastic in nature, the best way to make your character lovable is to put them in a situation that is embarrassing, and they have to recover from that, because that's a great way to take that character's ego down to nothing. So, for instance, if they're trying to act all cool, and then they look down and they realize either they stepped in dog poop or there's toilet paper on their shoe, like that's a great way for a character to all of a sudden have their ego deflated. And that's a great way for the audience to empathize. So any kind of character interactions like that, I love to animate. So we've got reaching for something, jump would be great, or trying to get something off the shelf, or trying to pat something from the roof, jump. So we've got get something from a shelf, energetic jump, and a roof jump. These are all great. Let's do a jump. Maybe our character could like jump over a gap, and when he lands, he almost loses his balance, and then he catches himself. That could be cool. Add a little bit more intrigue to the jump. Obviously, I would love just to do a jump. That would be super simple. And I've probably just complicated my life and my morning by adding that little woo, woo, woo. So we'll see. We'll see how far we get. Let me rig up this foot real quick. So I've got to grab. So this could be a quick little rigging lesson if you're wondering how I rig a foot. So I've got this foot here, or this bone. It doesn't have anything attached to it yet. So it has a foot roll, a toe roll, and then these two bones are attached to this one, which is the tippy toe pivot. And then the tippy toe pivot is parented to the heel pivot. So can you see that? So this bone here is the main bone for the foot, and it rotates at the heel, and that's it. So now I've got to rig up this foot to be attached to it. So how would I do these things? Well, first you want to select your bone. So I'm going to start with this one. And then I'm going to hit G, and then I select all of the points that will be associated with this kind of like heel pivot. And I think that's it. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I got to get these. That looks good. And then once you have them, you're going to come to this little guy, then bind those points. Then I'm going to select my toe pivot. So hit B, grab that bone, hit G, and then I'm going to grab all of these points that will be associated with the toe. And that should do it. Okay, then we just bind them, and that's it. It's really simple. So it's essentially two parts of the foot, a heel and a toe. And then you bind all those points of the heel to the heel and all the points of the toe to the toe, and then you're done. Now let's see how it works, because I was talking a big game just now, so I don't know if it's actually going to... Oh yeah, that works. It's not perfect. And there's some things kind of bending in the wrong ways, but that works for now. Yeah, for some reason, and somebody who knows Moho a little better than me might be able to talk about it more, but for some reason, my understanding is that Moho and Adobe Illustrator, they don't communicate. There's no way for you to import a vector file in Moho. Now you can import things like PNGs, maybe a PDF. You can do JPEGs. But in this instance, if you're doing a vector, you could import it as a PNG. And you can rig a character using maybe even Photoshop files, you know. So that's another cool thing that you can do with this program, is that your artwork doesn't have to be vector. It can be rasterized images, which is cool. All right. Cool. So we got that foot rigged up. That was pretty simple. And now we're going to do a jump. So we want our character to jump over something. Oh, you know what? Maybe what we could do, maybe I could import this background. Maybe he could jump he can jump over that little pond onto a rock, and then jump from that rock to the other side of the shore. And that's when he's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's do that. I'm going to take some of these backgrounds and see. Which ones are they? You know, maybe I'll just take this whole thing. Or I'll just import it. Let's do that. These guys. So, all right, this is another good lesson. So I've created this file in Illustrator. So this whole background was made in Illustrator. But in order, from what I understand, the easiest way to get this into Moho is if you save each layer as its own PNG file. So I have a foreground, that would be its own file. Then I have a midground, that would be its own file. Speaking of which, I want to do, maybe I'll do this later. I don't want to worry about this. All right. Anyway, so you take these files, and then once you have them rendered out as PNGs, I think that's what they were, then you can import them. And I always save them as 3 times larger than the file size. That way you can scale it up and it still works. So these have been imported out of order. So I'm just going to put them back into order. Foreground, light ground. There we go. And then I'm thinking what we'll do is, what is this one? We'll have this little pond scene be where we animate. We'll kind of jump around from rock to rock, and then that would be cool, right? I like that. So I'll put this character above all that. I'm going to scale these backgrounds down just a little bit so that he fits in here a little better. Okay. Looks great. And we'll have him maybe walk up and then jump to that rock, and then he'll try to jump across, and that's when he loses his balance. Does that sound good? Are you guys following along with that? Does that sound like something that would interest you to watch? If that's the case, I feel like this bush, that needs to go onto the foreground. Sounds good. What's my favorite famous character? What is my favorite character of all time? I don't know. I could tell you my favorite movie is. Ooh. Well, my favorite movie isn't animation. It's Lord of the Rings. But my favorite animated movie, I would say, is probably Finding Nemo. I don't know, something about just the overall feel of that movie. It was just done so beautifully. Yeah, Finding Nemo is just like, it's a masterpiece. I love it. But as far as characters, like character development goes, I would say that Incredibles would be my favorite character-driven movie, just because the characters are so well developed and they interact so beautifully together. It feels real, and a lot of times it feels raw. I just love that aspect of the way that Brad Bird tells the story. It wasn't these kind of like fake, perfect cookie cutter characters. They all had problems, and they all had these like raw emotions that went along with those problems. So it was really well done. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So I haven't really worked with the backgrounds. So yeah, this is cool. It'll be fun to kind of work in here. So the first thing that I'm going to do, if we look at this real quick, is the background is flat. So this is just all the layers have been smashed together. And there's no depth, which might work and it might be okay. But it's really simple to separate things, so I'm going to do that. So for instance, this foreground, since I have it selected, I'm just going to pull it forward with Alt and Shift. Just going to pull it forward into the camera a bit. maybe a little bit further. I'm also going to turn off my depth of field. I don't need it. Mid-ground, I'm going to keep right in the middle. That's where our camera is, so that's where our main character is. So mid-ground will be our central focal point. Then I'm going to push background back a bit. I'm going to push light rays back a bit. Maybe somewhere in between that background and the midground. And right now the light rays are just like this yellow gradient of sunshine. So what I want to do is actually change it to add, because that's going to give us that brightness. And then I change the opacity a little bit until it starts to feel like bright rays of sunshine. Let's see, maybe I can scale it down a little bit to fit in here. I think it's good. All right, cool. And then my real background, which is the sky, I can push that backwards too. All right, now if we go back and look at our composition in Z space, we can see that our sky, or maybe our background, is too far. So I'll pull this. Whoops. Oh man. I hate it when I do that, because I can never remember how to reset it. Oh, I guess that's good. Okay, cool. Coraline. Something about stop motion. Yeah. Coraline is great film. Stop motion I have such deep respect for, because I don't understand how they do it. I understand the concept. I understand the technique. I just don't understand how you keep track of the movement of your puppet without making mistakes. Like, how is that possible? That would drive me insane, trying to remember, like, where was I? You know, I guess you can go back and forth with the keyframes, but whew, that stuff's crazy. All right. What am I doing? Okay. So let's pull this background forward a bit. Light rays come back. Okay, so now we have our backgrounds kind of set up. Let's just take one last look. All right, that's good enough for me. Looking good. Maybe we can push sky just a little bit more. All right. So now that we have that set up, we can actually move our camera around, and we have this whole 3D environment, which is really cool. And it's just going to add that little touch of, you know, just a little bit. But what I'm realizing is, if he's going to jump across this little pond, this bush here needs to be in front. And right now I have it on the midground. So let me come back here. So I'm going to select this bush and the trash can, copy them, and then I will come back to foreground. And then I'll paste them here. And then we'll push it behind this bench, but in front of the dumpster. Maybe we'll go like that, and then pull this one over. And I think that should do it. I don't want this to get too close to this action here. Okay. And then also, maybe I'll switch the direction of that, because, yeah, that looks better. So now it matches the path of the walking path a little better. I don't like this shadow here though. It makes it look like it's floating. So we're going to try to ground this a little bit more. By pulling it up here. All right. So now what I have to do is resave both the midground and the foreground. So what I would do is just export these for screens. We'll go 3 times. And then if I resave this as the same name as the layer it was, so for instance, save the foreground as a foreground, what's cool is it's going to update the artwork in Moho. Kind of like if you were to change anything in the Illustrator file, if you're using it in After Effects. It's the same thing. It's just not as intuitive as this one because you have to save it as something new. So now I will do the same thing for the midground. Let's go and export it. We'll call it midground. And you see here it's 3 times the size. And that seems to be a nice sweet spot for me. I don't really go too much bigger than a 3 times scale. And then I save it as a PNG. So then I export that. And so now when I come into Moho, it should update. And if it doesn't, did it do it? No, it didn't. You can always kind of like force it to, and then it should, well, just in case it didn't. We'll go like that. And then we'll come here to midground, hit OK. And for some reason, it is not cooperating. So what do we want to do? Animate the bush. Yeah, let me see what we can do. The animating background elements is pretty cool, especially if you have your layers separated. Let me figure out what's going on here with these backgrounds because I don't know why they're not updating. Let's save this thing as, I don't know, maybe I'll call it puddle jump. Image, come on, baby. Let's do our episodes backgrounds. Come on. What is it? Was I in midground? Yeah. Hit apply, maybe. All right, I'm going to try opening this again. Let's just close it down. File, open recent. Maybe it'll do it now. No. What on earth is going on, people? You were making me look like a fool. Okay, so that's still not working. I don't know what to tell you. All right, I'm just going to go for it, animate. Let's just start animating. And then I'll worry about whatever this foreground's going to do later. But since I don't have that bush set up just yet, let me see. If I was going to animate a bush, what you could do is you would create a new bone. I'm going to call this one bush layer. And then I would put whatever elements that I need to actually animate inside that bone layer. So for instance, this midground will go in there. And I'll turn everything off so you can see what I'm doing. So I just have this layer here set up inside my new bone layer. And then what I would do is I would make a new bone. Whoops, what did I do? Okay, so with the bone layer selected, I would make a new bone. Maybe give it 3 points like this. And oops. I don't know why it's moving. Maybe because I have this whole thing wrong. Right. So essentially what I would do, let's see, where are we? So that's going to be affecting this whole thing. I don't want it to do that. So maybe if we turn down the strength of these bones, it might do something. No, it's still not working. Maybe someone else can help. I haven't really done bushes. And if I was going to do it in like such a large layer, I don't know if you can. Maybe it has to be just the bush itself. I don't know. So I would suggest if you're going to be animating the bushes, separate those into different layers and then go from there. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense that you would want to separate those things. So let me just set this scene up real quick, and then we will do our quick little jump animation. See how it turns out. See how far we get. See how much we like it. Cool. So what we'll do is we'll have our character maybe set up already like he's about to jump. I just want to get right into this. So we'll turn his body. Oh, I don't have that hood set up. I thought I did that one. You got to be kidding me. Maybe I did it on this character here. Let me have a look. Because if this character's set up, then I'm just going to take him. That way. Okay, this guy is set up. But I don't have his foot set up. Doggone it. All right, I'm just going to turn hood off then. I don't want to worry about that. So we'll have our character turned. Then I'm going to turn his head in this direction. Maybe he'll be looking downward at the obstruction, the thing that he will be jumping over. Let's change his expression a bit. Maybe he won't even think anything of it. Just a all-around neutral pose. There we go. I need to change the color of these eyelids. Hit Q. We'll change it to that. We'll change it to that. Okay, cool. So we've got this character looking at the pond, and now we need to have him jump. So if he's going to jump to, let's say, this middle rock here, this middle section, I need to have him back just a little bit. So let's take his character, we'll move him maybe to here. And for this shot, I might need to get rid of that bush. I don't know yet. So I'm just going to pretend like it's not there for the moment. And then we'll work our way through. So another thing that I have to do is see how his foot's facing the wrong way. If I scale this foot in this first position, and what we do, let's say can we rotate? Maybe if we rotate, let's see if that works. And we put it here like this. And then this comes up. Yeah, we're still working, I think. Then this comes up. These guys will go there. This one needs to rotate towards that leg. And I think we did it. It looks confusing. It is confusing. But I think we're pretty close. Maybe this needs to come down a bit. And this can come up. Okay, let's just see if this is going to work. The next thing I need to do is rotate this whole foot negative. And let's just see if that worked. Cool. Okay, we got movement. All right, so it worked. The next thing I got to do is change the direction of this leg bend. Whoops. Oh, why are you rotating? No, that's not right. Oh, was it because I was holding shift? All right, let's try it again. Okay, so now we have that bending in the right direction. I'm going to fix this pant line. Shouldn't be breaking. So we'll put that one down, this one up. And that should hopefully do it. Okay. So now our character is all set up, ready to go. I'm going to move this foot over just a little bit because it's not in the right spot. Okay. All right. Cool. So now he's just there facing the little pond. And this is where we're going to have him jump. Just a second.
Daddy, can you please walk me?
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks.
Where are you guys going? I'm back. Where were we? All right, let's just have him jump. I'm going to see if I can scale this leg down a bit. Also, I want to turn off these bones that I'm not using because they get in my way. All right, that's about it. Let's hide them. Get out of here. All right, next, maybe I don't need to scale the bone. I can always just pull this leg back. Does that still work? I think so. All right. So now let's just go ahead and just animate him. Start doing this thing. So we'll hold for a few frames, maybe 12. We'll go Control F to add a keyframe all the way across. We'll put one here too. And then right here, what's going to happen is, obviously he needs to build up to the jump. So he's maybe going to take a step back, crouch down into kind of like a, build energy kind of a position. So what I'll do is I'll have him take a little step back here. And he's going to crouch down. Maybe like this. So maybe he'll do that. His hips will come forward. At this point, maybe his body will squash in. Arms will be built upward. Let's just see. And we get to play around with it. That's the cool thing, is you can play around with it to see what's going to be the best look. Okay. No, I won't do that one. So this is him moving into position. I don't really know that I like the way the arms are. Maybe we'll do something this. That looks better. We also need to change his facial expression. A one-leg hop would be nice to see. So like he's gonna just do a hop skip from one stone to the next. So he'll go 1 foot on the rock and then over to the next one. I like that. I like that. Thanks for the suggestion. So let's change his expression to be a little bit more, focused, ready. I think the eyebrows would come down a bit. Shape of the eyes would change, maybe. We'll do the bottom lids. Go like that. Maybe these lids will come up. Obviously, he'll have to look up, maybe to where he's going to go, like that. Could drop his, that doesn't look right. We can turn his head a little more. Maybe the body will come towards the camera. Maybe head will come towards the camera too. I like that. And then we'll move this over like that. Okay. I want to pull this leg out a little more. We'll do that. Then I'll put this position back to where it belongs. Let's just see. That's not too bad. Feels ready. Maybe we can sit him back a little more. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. There it is. So he's back. He's ready. A hop skip. Yeah, like a quick game of hopscotch. That's good. I like that. All right, I like the idea of just pulling them back even more. So let's keep going. That might be too far, actually. Let's go right here. We'll crouch him back a little bit. We'll keep scaling him in. Head down. There we go. He is geared up and ready. Okay, so we have this pose to this pose. And then I want to hold it here a little bit more. So what I can do is I'm going to add a keyframe. It looks like we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frames later. I'll add a keyframe. But I'm going to actually push the pose just a little bit more. So this is him kind of building that tension right before he springs into action. So everything will compress just a little bit more. Maybe the arms will come up just a little bit. The neck will compress down. Maybe head will turn just a little bit. We'll drop this and this. Maybe the knees will compress out. Okay. So let's smooth this up. All right, that feels pretty good. Because of the physics on his back, there's some weird kind of like wobble to it, so I might have to take that off. The only thing that I need to switch about this is maybe a little bit of overlapping action here. So as he's coming down, in order to really feel that squash happen, what we can do is add an upward movement to the head and the neck, and maybe even the body. So right in between these keyframes from where he's stationary to where he's going down, I'm going to lift the head upward like that. Maybe even turn it in a bit. So we'll lift it up. We'll pull the neck out, and the body will come out too. Let's just see if that worked. Let me smooth these frames. Oh, that looks good. It's all about the subtle movements. So right as he's coming down, it's going to be a subtle move up, and then he settles into place. So now let's think about what foot. So he's geared up to jump off his front foot. So if he's jumping from his front foot, that would mean that his back foot would land on that stone in the middle. So he's coming down. And so if he's holding here, there's going to be a slight curl inward. So he's pushing his momentum toward the stone, but he's not exploded up yet. So it's going to be this movement down into position, and then a curl, and then a jump. I think that's the fun thing about animation, is we get to play with it, especially puppet animation like we're doing. Thanks, Farah. So if he's going to be moving forward a little, he's going to crouch in. This will go like that. We'll even push it forward. neck can come down. Maybe the head will go up. Okay, so I've got to turn off the dynamics for that and his neck. So let's see if that works. So he's coming down, and then he's going to crouch a little bit more on his way up. So it'll come down. I think this will be a little quicker. So let's go down, and this will be where he kind of explodes up. Maybe I'll keep the head down a bit. Yeah. So he comes in, then he crouches down, and then it's going to be a big upward move. And this could be my point just before we lose contact with the ground behind him. So this is going to be the full extension just before he's actually in air, in flight, so to speak. So he's going to be here. We'll get everything looking pretty good. So in order for it to be a jump, there has to be both feet off the ground. The body will be up, extended. This maybe be pulled back. Full extensions. Head will come up. I guess we could turn toward the camera a little more on this channel. Maybe not. At least the head could. Okay. So now we got to figure out what's going on with this leg here. All right, that feels really explosive. I like it. Boom. So these arms are going to come up, really bend in. And then right here, they'll probably go down as he's switching momentum from downward to upward. And I'll worry about the direction that these hands are facing later. I just like to get the bulk of the movement out of the way so I can feel what it's going to be like. And this foot will definitely be kind of up and ready to go at this point. I'm not quite sure what is going to happen, so I'm just going to get it into pose, and then I'll figure out how that moves later. Okay, so it still needs to be on the ground here. So what I'm going to do, select all the bones for the foot, and then make sure that they are holding until this spot right there. I'm going to smooth it out. Whoops. All right, so look at that. We have movement just before blast off. Cool. So I love when animators play around with, kind of the physics of the universe. So like gravity is either very heavy when they make impact, or it could be very light when they're in the air. So you hold that pose in the air a little bit longer before they do their jump. It gives a nice rhythm to your flow of animation. So you always want to break up just the timing of your actions. So if you have a very quick, explosive energy, it can be nice to counterbalance that with a more lofty, kind of like exaggerated float through the air. It just makes a more playful animation. So let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to have him jump. Another thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be animating his scale. So I'm going to animate his action, maybe going up. And then I'll animate the scale of his entire character down. Like Superman, ready to fly. Yeah. It'll probably mellow out right here. So this is just a quick little action to get him into his pose. So right here, he'll probably go up into position right here. So he goes up. Maybe I'll hold it. I might need to switch this to like Bezier curves and change things in the curve editor, just so that it is moving properly. Maybe the floor can make a secondary to make the jump more fantasy. Maybe the floor. I don't quite understand that comment. Oh, grass flying around. I gotcha. That would be cool. Again, that probably goes into the ease of doing things in After Effects. So if I was going to do that, I would probably animate this whole scene in Moho. Once it's done, then I'd head over to After Effects and then add those little flurries in there afterward. All right, let's go smooth. This would probably rotate up. Let's see, then this foot, this is going to be the foot that makes contact. We've got to get it ready like it's going to hit. So this means that his overall time spent on this middle section is going to be very quick. So it's going to be a quick and then a bounce, right? So he's going to hold up here, and then it's going to be a quick down bounce, because we're playing with that timing. So let's see. I like this. This is looking quite nice. Not sure how it's going to look when we get to... you can see his sweatshirt just bouncing all over the place. I don't think it's going to be that bouncy. Oh, yeah, it is kind of bouncy. All right, so let's just keep going. All right, so he comes up. Then there's going to be a nice little float here. We'll say that the arms will come back up. Maybe I'll put this hand here. I'll move the elbow a bit. Let's see. So this will come up. I don't really know. Should this... Maybe this will be scrunched in again. Oops. So I'm going to compress his spine again and his neck again. That way we can have a nice moment when he bounces off of the stone in the middle. We'll have that stretch out, and then he compresses in. And it'll give a nice squash and stretch to him. So he's going to come in, float here. The transition between these two is a little shocking. So he like explodes up, and then it's. Let's do smooth on all this stuff. See what happens. Oh, that looks so good. Okay, so then we're going to have him kind of explode down here into position. This foot will already be on contact with this stone here. I can even curl this toe around it to make it look like he's stomping on it, which is cool. I'll have to adjust a lot of that stuff, but so I wonder, I don't know, is this, maybe he's not jumping high enough, because I want to get that extension in that leg. So if he comes up here, and he comes around here, let's go ahead and keep him up. That holds a little too long. All right. So this will come down some more and over. So he's building that up too. So he's getting ready. So we'll go like this. And it's going to be a quick down and up, right? So it's going to hold and then a quick bounce. And I think part of the problem is we need to hold this foot, or it needs to snap down a little bit quicker. So it'll go up. So let's grab all of this stuff. Smooth that in, smooth it out. Oops. Comes up. I don't know. What do I want to do? And then he comes down. To lift off his grade, it'd be nice to see him try to balance all the weight on his front leg as he lands. So if the back foot remained in the air or hangs, that would be great. Yeah, so it'll just be the 1 foot landing. So if he's coming up let's say that this foot needs to be moving with it. This will be pointed downward. Toe will be pointing down as well. Oops. We'll do that. Nice little straight leg. Wait a second. Oh yeah, okay. I'm getting confused on these legs. All right, so that one's gonna go up, but this whole foot needs to stay on the ground a bit. So I'm gonna grab all of these little points here. I'm gonna hold them. I'm not sure how long yet. Let's see. Come on. All right, this needs to stay down on the ground longer. There we go. So right here, what we can do as well is I need to roll this foot a bit. So this will come up. Then the toe will roll. Okay, there we go. Still working around with this gravity. I don't know how light I'm going to make him. It still feels a little too clunky, like something's not right, but I think maybe it's just the overall timing of this back foot. It's not snappy enough. So let's have a look. Look-see. Okay. I'm not opposed to that. But it does need to keep moving. That's part of the problem. So let's go like this. I'll keep the foot coming up. Maybe it can begin to reset a bit. That might be too much. Let's just see that. Okay, now the body, I want it to be a little bit more explosive as it comes down. So it needs to hit faster and harder. Okay. And I'm still not sure he jumps high enough. I feel like maybe he's not really going as high as he should be in order to get that bouncy impact. Let me see if I can just extend him a little bit higher. Oops. Okay. All right, let's keep it going. I'm feeling all right about this. So as he comes down, his body will extend. Oh yeah, let's make it a lot bigger. There we go. Neck will extend. Head will come up. Arms will come up. Okay. So he's coming, and then he goes, whoa, extension, and then real quickly, we're going to squash everything in. Boom. Boom. Head will come down. Down. Arms will come down. He hops up, comes down, and he's got to be already working on his way up at this point. So we'll have him, what do we think? Should we just do it real quick? He comes up, and then he hits. You can use some of these animations in reference. What do you mean by that? All right, so this will extend out and out. All right, that feels pretty playful. Down, boom, and then he'll do his jump all over again. Okay. I don't know if this is going to work or not. I might speed up the whole thing and get rid of that kind of lofty float because I don't feel like I'm doing it very well. But let's just keep going, and then we'll kind of figure everything out as we get to it. And maybe it's the timing of his feet. That could be a lot of the problem. They're just kind of floating there. No real purpose. Let's grab these guys. Oops. No. Don't you crash on me. I haven't saved you. You know what's kind of cool about Moho is that even though if it crashes, from the point that you're at, it still does a save, and then it wants to pull up that crash file for you. which is cool because After Effects has something like that, but you know, it saves it like what, every 20, maybe 30 minutes. And so you'd end up having to go back to, you know, your last autosave. Whereas this one gets all that work for you. All right, let's do this. And right before this hits, we'll open this foot up like this. There we go. And then it's going to smack down. Boom. Boom. I wonder if that helps. Yeah, I like that. This foot is feeling a little more purposeful, but it is kind of moving a little interesting. So if he comes up, I feel like maybe he's holding a little too long. Let's just have a look-see. Let's get in here. So that would be these keyframes here. If we were to crunch them in and maybe move them forward a bit. That's too fast. What do you think? Not too fast? Yeah, no one can move that fast. All right, so then he's going to hit here, do his next jump, and we will go to the other side. Oh, whoops. That's not what I wanted. All right, so this will be his jump up. He'll move like so. This will rotate. This will rotate. Maybe we'll scale it down a bit. Scale it. There we go. So if he's jumping, arms will come down. We'll extend these downward. There we go. And we'll come through here like this. Head will come down, down, down. Okay, so there's a big jump that happens here. Let's see it. If I delete that, is that better? Okay, so this last movement is not quite good. It all just kind of like rotates weird. A little too slow, right? Let's see what we can do about that. Let's smooth it out. Let's smooth all this stuff out. down. Let's have a look at this rotation. Down here is good. Needs to rotate up a little quicker. Same with this one. That's the position. When it's too fast, it strongly suggests that the character has made a wrong assumption and he's about to stumble. But if it's something you're not going for, you can change the pace a bit. Has made the wrong assumption. Let's see. It's actually feeling pretty good now that I watch it. We just got to keep those feet moving, and I think that's going to help with that floaty factor. We'll keep it going, and then we're just going to get them to the other side. And then right here, we can extend everything. Maybe your head will come up. We can turn it. Actually, we'll keep it down like he's looking at this bank. He's looking where he's about to be going. All right. So this is the final leap. This is the final leap for him. It looks like it's got to be a big one because he's got a large amount of real estate that he's got to cover. So maybe we'll expand this a bit. Let's pull it down. And then we'll pull it out over here. There we go. It's really extending that launch. And he's going to keep floating for just a second. Maybe coming downward. Oops. Rotate it this way, and up. Start to extend our character's body a little. Pull the head up. Arms will come up. Okay. Right now it looks good to me. The fast pace suggests it's an unnatural pose and the body is quickly trying to make him regain balance. In the second jump, once he makes it over the paddle or the puddle. Okay, so you're thinking he's not timed his jump properly and now he's feeling a little off balance about it. I could see that. Yeah, I'll play around with the timing a bit. Once I get it feeling how I how I feel like it should feel. We'll play with that timing and we'll polish it up a bit. It feels a little clunky right here. There's something happening where it's like and that happens when you have too many keyframes messing you up. So maybe if I delete these keyframes, okay. And don't mind the fact that his clothes are going crazy. You know, I'm just going to turn that off for now. Because if that's messing you up, it's messing me up. Let's do this. Let's turn off the dynamics. No more dynamics. All right. Cool, this is looking good. So now we have to resolve our character making his way to the other side. Let's finish off these footsteps. So if he was to jump with his back foot, so he jumps off his front foot and lands with his back foot, that would mean that his other foot will land first. So the one that's just floating here. We have to move it, and this is good because we can now move it through and get that feeling of what it's going to be like. So this foot comes up right here. It's going to continue to come up, but forward. You can even move it back. There we go. So it comes up, then it's going to move quickly through here into position, maybe in like this kind of way. Oops. Maybe we can point the toe down a little bit. This foot will roll up on the toe. And this foot will continue forward, maybe up into position. Let's get this toe upward. And he's getting ready to stomp down on the other side. Boom. So comes up, does a little bounce, powers his way through. Right here, he's going to come crashing down onto the other side. And I guess the question would be, is he going to do, if he jumps, let's have him do a double foot plant. So he's going to jump off that rock, and then instead of just going one and then following through, he's going to do a double jump because he needs to get all the effort he can and maybe land with both feet on the other side. But also what I want to do here is I want to scale the character. So his scale and position will be right where they're at. And then here, when he gets to the other side, I want him to scale down a little bit. Actually, let me change where his scaling point is. We'll put it over here. And then here, we'll scale him down. Because he has kind of gone back, and now he is where he needs to be. We'll smooth it out. There we go. That'll work. Oh no. What have I done? All right. So he's moving through. I do feel like he's holding in the air a little too long. It feels kind of strange, doesn't it? Let me just soften it just a little bit. I don't know. It's not feeling right to me. What to do, what to do. Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing, a double foot landing. So he would jump off that middle stone. And yeah, in order to give him that biggest jump possible, he would need both feet like, whoa, you know, across the pond. So I think we'll do that. Okay, and right now something, because I changed the rotation of this heel, not working. Let's put it, there we go. So it comes up. I'm wondering if maybe, that's not right. I'm not sure. Something feels a little unnatural about it. Maybe it's just the overall timing of this section here. I don't know if I can change it a little bit. Let's see. Nope, that didn't work. All right. Cool. Let's just keep going. I don't think it looks that bad. I think it's interesting. So let's keep going, and then I'll polish it up as as we get through it. But so he jumps, he slaps his foot down, and then he jumps again. So this will be a quick movement of that foot because he's doing a double landing. So right here, this foot will come up and kind of parallel this foot. So this will rotate down, this will come up. Oops. Rotate that like so, maybe toe up. Cool. Definitely got to hold. Can't be jumping out like that. So I'm going to grab these keyframes. Let's see, where does it? Let's copy and paste these back to the rock. That could work. Yeah, I like that. We have some extension in the leg. Makes it look like he's jumping. Cool. That looks nice. Whoops. I don't know what I did. What is that? Reset visible point bones. I don't know what that does. All right, that looks good, but the only thing I need to change is the trajectory of this foot. It shouldn't be down like that. I think it needs to come up and then rotate like this. There we go. That's a nice little hop. I like that. And then he's going to land. Cool. I feel like the only thing that's catching me up is this first jump. It feels like he's jumping through water instead of being more weightless in air, if that makes sense. It feels like there's resistance against him, although he's being weightless, which would be kind of how you move in water. So I'm wondering how I get that. And it might just be his speed is slowing down too quickly. I don't know. Let's play around with some of the movements here. So if this comes to that point and then it slows down really slow here, maybe I just need to play with the Bezier curves of it. Let's move you up. That could have been it. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to mess around with the curves. Let's get in there. So I'll double click on this curve. This is my up and down position. So that's him coming up. And then right here. So these three, what I'm going to do is change them to Bezier. And then I can play with kind of the timing on this one, which is cool. Make it snappier. Make this one a little bit more floaty. Let's get in here. I'll change this one to Bezier too. And then let's drop that, and we'll curve that. All right, let's see how that feels. That feels a little better. Feels like the movement's continuing. I like that. Okay, that's looking better. So he jumps up. All right, cool. So let's look at maybe some of the posing of his limbs. So maybe his neck needs to be upward, extended. Torso up too, maybe. Let's just see how that looks. Okay, cool. So it'll extend up. And instead of crouching right here, he needs to be opened up on his entry into this hit. So he's curling in, and that's not what I want. It needs to be opened. Maybe head up. Yeah, his head's already up. That's cool. And then he'll hit here and kind of squash. You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't like him opening up. It feels like he's just too, like, he's, yeah, he shouldn't do that. He's going to be in, like, more of a crouch. Like, think Spider-Man. When you see Spider-Man in the air, he's almost always curled over his body with his knees up to his chest, you know? I don't know what I was thinking. All right, let's go back. Not saying that he's a superhero by any means, but just general physics of movement, right? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just going to keep him curled in. And then he can maybe extend or open up a little bit on his entry. Cool. Smooth it out. Let's see how that's looking. That's okay. Looking good. Cool. Now let's just finish out that little hop at the end there. And then we'll call it a day. So let's see here. He's going to be jumping. I think at this point, his shoulders need to really be turned away from us. Let's see if we can do that with this rig. So here's our body turn. It will go like this. Got to fix that neck. All right, cool. So he's kind of jumping away from the camera. It's looking good. So now let's have him really hit hard here. So I'll grab his body layer. Okay, he kind of floats here a little bit, which I'm not a big fan of. So he'll come here, he'll hit. Feet will be down at this point on the bank of the little pond. Cool. He's going to come down and forward. This is the impact. So I guess the final question is, how do we want to resolve this whole thing? What do you guys think he's going to be doing? Is he just going to be making it to the other side? I don't want to spend too much more time on this. But we got to finish it out some way. So maybe he'll kind of like, I don't know. Is that going to be too much work for him to lose his balance? What do you guys think? What should he do? What should he be doing? So he's jumped across the pond. Does he make it seamlessly, or does something else happen? Let's have him lose balance. Let's just do it. So I'm going to have him like hit hard here, and then maybe pop up quickly into his whoa, 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 and then he'll catch himself. Just try to catch his balance since the jump was quick. All right, let's do it. So he'll hit here, and then he'll instantly be up in an off balance pose. So let's see how that feels. So if we quickly move him into position, we'll push him up, rotate him around a bit. Body will turn like this. This foot will come out. Oops. This body is off just a little too far. Let's go like that. And then head will turn this way and up. And now arms will come out. So he comes down, boom, up, and then he's instantly off balance. And then we'll have him kind of slowly go back, reach the peak, and then he'll come back forward. So if he's going to be off balance, I feel like he can't be this far forward. He's got to hit like this. There we go. And then I'll figure out timing of his limbs in just a second. But for at least a second, maybe more, he'll be rotating in the wrong direction toward the pond. Body stretching. Oh, wait. He should be not stretched out like that. So he comes up. He needs to scale down. Neck scales down. And then he can scale up. Neck can scale up. I'll just reset scales. Boom. Whoa. There he goes. Smooth, so he's going to be off balance, and then he's going to kilter. He'll go back the other direction. Starting to regain his composure just a little bit. And then he'll settle into his balance on the other side. Whoa. So he comes up, whoa. And then he'll drop in. All right, so let's focus on getting the flailing of the arms to look right. All right, all in all, that's too snappy. So we're going to slow that one down. So he's going to hit. Maybe he can compress a little bit more. So I'll move forward a couple frames. Copy him back down in this crouch position. And what I'll do is I will continue this movement downward. I don't know about inward, if that should be what I do, but we'll definitely go like this. Maybe arms will come forward like he's trying to get all his weight to the other side. That's better. So he keeps coming forward, but his body momentum is going backwards. So he's going forward. He's going forward as his body's going backwards. And then he pops up to kind of gain his composure. While this is happening, this foot will be coming out, maybe up. And then as he comes back, this foot will come back. And then downward. Cool. Let's see how that feels. He jumps. Whoa. All right. So we've got to have these arms moving real quick. And I think I'll just move them up and down. Just see how that feels. Real fast. So come up and down. And what we can do is just copy and paste these keyframes over and over. Okay. That might be too fast. Yeah. But you get the point. So I'm going to delete some of them, and then I'll just scale it out, or stretch it out, I guess. So we'll stretch this out to see if we can. I guess that's better. And we have to change his facial expression. So I'm going to, let's get that switched up a bit. So he jumps. At this point, his eyes will be fixed looking down because he needs to be looking at where he's going to land. Oops. So in order to keep his pupils visible, we have to change his eyelids a bit. Can maybe change, a little bit of how he's looking. I'm going to have him blink right here. Got to get some blinks in there, okay? Oops. So then we'll blink. Eyebrows will come down a little. And then right here, he'll open back up. All right. And we'll come forward. Eyes will switch like so. And then right here, as he turns, he's got to change a lot of his facial expression. So we'll do, I'm going to key some of this stuff. I'll key where these go, and I'll key his mouth too, because we're going to change basically everything about him. Right here, we'll do a quick blink. And then when it pops up, his eyes will be fully open, eyebrows fully up, and mouth will be much different. Maybe we'll open it a bit. Do that. Let's put the tilt to the other side. There we go. All right. Eyes will maybe be looking up. There we go. That's looking good. Yeah, some arm smears. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thing is, I don't really know how I would do that in Moho. Yeah, that's a great point. Arm smears would be perfect. And maybe it can be a little bit bigger, because right now it's just too jittery. So let's expand the movement of that arm shake. You could probably get away with just grabbing these, going into the graph editor, and then adjusting the points here. So let's see. Ay, ay, ay. What have I done? Oh, I just selected these. Okay, sorry about that. So let's go ahead and try it again. I'm going to move these upward to increase that arm movement. Okay. So we've got that going. So he got his jump, and he comes up. This is him off balance. Okay. I don't quite like this pose here where this one here. For some reason, his arm looks funny to me. Maybe I can just move his arm. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Let's have a look at this. So this rotation needs to come out a little more. There we go. And that scale feels a little off to me. Where's my scale? Right here? Oops. Already comes down, and this springs up. Maybe the head will do a little thing. Okay. All right, so we've got his jump, his wobble. I guess the wobble's fine. I don't know. I need to let's see. Here, let's have him look down. There we go. All right, let's do the other arm. Kind of copy. I wonder, can you copy and paste these keyframes and then add them here? So you can, it just does it backwards. So let's see. Nah, never mind. Never mind. So we'll go up. Let's reset this position. Then these will come down and down. And then up. Which is, I'm just going to copy and paste now. In this spot. There we go. Smooth you guys out. And then copy and paste. Here we go. All right, timing of these is off. Well, let's see if that makes any difference. Yes, it does. Okay. Okay, maybe, what do you guys think about if I did, instead of him just going like this, what if we did full, like, windmills? of his arms like spinning. Let's see if that works. Or is that going to just completely destroy everything? Let's just have a look. Because something about this little wobble, it's not doing it for me. So I'm going to turn the body back just a little bit. Then this arm, we'll start with this one. This arm comes up. And then maybe it'll spin down. All right. Let's rotate this in the opposite direction. Like this. Let's just see how that timing feels. I can already tell it's breaking my rig though, which is a bummer. I like that a lot better. Hip rotation. It's spinning. It's breaking this arm like crazy, which is a bummer. And maybe I'll just go up like this. And this will be kind of the end of it. All right, let's just have a look. I think I kind of like that better. It's more interesting. What do you think? Does that look more interesting than just a straight up arm shake? And then I'll offset the swings so they're looking a little better. But what's cool is what I can do is copy that movement here. Actually, linear, I think, is what we need. So we'll keep it linear. I'll copy that rotation, and then I'll paste it. Offset. So let's see here. Whoa. So it goes up. Cool. And I'll just delete that one. Oh, that's weird. Up, down. Cool. Needs a little something else. So it comes up. He comes up. Whoa. And then he tries to spin his balance out. I wonder, should the arm on the other side go the other direction? Let's have a look. So if it's, yeah, let's try that. So this one will be back and spinning this way. Whoops. Okay, and then we'll come up with it, move forward a bit, and down. All right. Oh, there he goes. He starts spinning. Cool. All right. I like it. So he spins his arm, and then we're going to have him quickly kind of like crouch into a more steadied stance. And then he'll drop right here. All right, so let's do that and see how that feels. So he moves and then drops. You know, kind of into position. Maybe we can move the feet around. All right, then this body will scale down. Head will scale as it comes forward. And then this arm, I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do. Oops. Because I got to reset this angle. And I don't know what's going to happen. So maybe, let me see here. What I'll do is this. And this comes out. All right, now let's reset this angle. Can lift it up. Okay. So this will come down, squash a little more. This will squash in, rotate. So if he's coming down, I guess the arms will kind of drop down too. Down, and then he'll bounce upward. So we'll scale him up, up. Oops. Then it'll come up. Down, and then he'll settle in just slightly in a downward position. I don't know when Moho does sales. I'm not sure. This character was designed in Moho. So they are completely made using Moho vectors. All right, there we go. Got to work on the secondary actions of the character a little bit more, maybe some facial animation too. But that's it. We're getting close. I really feel like I want to push the exaggeration of this bend of his body, so he's like really losing his balance. Let's see. Maybe we could turn like this. Turn that body a little bit more too. Let's see what's going on here. Let's make that smooth. Let's smooth this out. Cool. If you're enrolled in college or you have a college student email, you get 40% discount. Wow, that's great. All right. So let's just wrap this up real quick. I want to hold this off balance pose just a little bit longer. All right, that looks better. Let's see how that feels. So he jumps, and then he kind of, and then really crouches in. Cool. I'm digging it. And then right here, we'll add a little secondary animation. So the head would come back. Maybe the head would turn like so and then come up. So that when he hits here, it's really going to collapse downward and maybe over this way. And then right here, his head will bob upward. And then it will settle in downward. And then we'll change his facial expression right here at the ending. And then this movement here, it needs to be a little bit different. So the way he moves, I think he needs to be offset a little bit more. And then he comes and catches his balance. So he leans in, he's right here. Let's smooth these out, see how it feels. Cool. Let's watch this again. All right, that looks better. Cool. Now let's change some facial stuff going on here. So I'll have him maybe start to blink at this point. So I will I'm just going to start keying a lot of his facial stuff. All right, and then we'll move forward, close the eyes. Eyebrows will really come down. Then we'll come forward here, where he'll open his eyes again. Eyebrows will come up. Let's just see. Maybe I won't do the bottom lids. And I'll change the eyes. Like this. And now let's change the mouth. All right, cool. Solar eclipse, I don't know. I haven't really been paying much attention to the solar eclipse. Still looks sunny, I guess. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have him like breathing. So it'll be kind of like a pained breath. Like, oh my gosh, I almost just fell in. So we'll keep this up and down momentum going on here. So it'll be up, scale, and we'll come here and we'll go down. And we'll drop you just a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to grab these guys. Cool. Let's copy all this. Up, down. Oh, that was weird. Has the solar eclipse happened for you? Are you interested or excited to go watch it? I'm not near the point of totality, so I think I'm going to get about, what did it say, 35% of an eclipse, so it's not like super crazy. All right, cool. So we got some movement here, like he's breathing. I'll open his mouth a bit to make it look like he's taking breaths. So he'll be open, breathe out. So we'll go maybe exhale here. So let's change this to a more pursed lips. So we'll close that. Actually, this needs to be, there we go. And then here, he'll inhale. So open wide. There we go. In Canada, it's been cloudy. Oh, it's a bummer. That's a bummer to miss the eclipse like that. All right. This, just keep going with it. See how it feels. Oh, something's off. How'd that get off like that? That's interesting. All right. Let's see how it looks with this breath coming in and out of his lungs. And I'm going to change the camera moves too. So let's watch. He goes, maybe it's a little too much. Maybe it just needs to be open and closed. Maybe the first one he can have more of a, even that first one doesn't look right. Never mind. Okay, let's rework this mouth position here. Okay, so let's grab these, copy and paste them. All right, cool. Okay. I'll have him look around too, like panicked. Like, and right here he can look back and forth like, let's try that. Really want to sell the expression that he's like freaked out that he almost fell in. Whoops. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to change these hand positions because it does not look like he's in panic mode. But yeah, other than that, I think it's looking pretty good. I feel like his facial expressions are selling everything. Let's just go ahead and, we'll change these hand shapes a bit. Starting off, this one here does not need to be There we go. It needs to be facing that direction. And let's do that. Oh wait, maybe it doesn't. Let me look at this. That looks pretty good. Let's see. Is there a better hand shape for this guy? That might be it. Okay. What is happening? Why are you changing? Hello? That sounds good. Oh, okay. All right. No, I'm just doing the live stream right now. No, it's okay. Are you sure? Oh, okay. All right, bye. Oh, wait a second. I just deleted some stuff I didn't need to, or shouldn't have. Aha, Smush and Smash. Smush and Smash has been put on a side burner for now. I would love to pick that back up. I've got a lot of things that I'm just kind of processing through, like projects that I'm working on. So I feel like once I start getting a little bit better grasp on my workflow, I can focus on things like that again. But yeah, I think Smush and Smash will always be around. I just haven't been working on it steadily in recent days. But that's an that's a great question. Thank you for asking. I didn't know that people really even knew about that. I know I've posted on it. Obviously, people have seen it, but oh, there we go. Okay, let's get this hand back. Come on. I'll put you there. Put you there. So he's going to jump here. I think these hands are fine. And here, this one needs to switch to copy this one here. There we go. And I'll do that, and then we'll be good. Cool. All right, guys, I think I'm just about done here. Let's watch it real quick. Oh, yeah. Camera move. So we got jumps. Okay, he's got his little thing happening. Hands are semi-animated. I need to come back in here and change these guys to step. So that as he's moving, it's going to stay in the right hand shape. And then as he jumps, it'll do the right thing. So I'll have his hand maybe switch here at this point of action. There we go. And then this hand also needs to be on step. So I'll switch it there. Cool. All right, let's watch it again. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I would love to animate Smush and Smash. It's funny because I was trying out doing, like posting comic things, or like four panel comics where there was a joke involved. It didn't seem like anyone really was interested in watching something that I was making that wasn't moving. So I learned very quickly that you guys only care about animation, so which is okay. I love animation. I would love to have the ability to animate those characters in that world. Cool. So the last thing we're going to do here is I'm going to animate this camera. So I'm going to move this camera maybe over a little bit more this way so our character's centered. And as he takes a step back here, maybe I'll move it over just a hair as he's moving backward. So he takes a step back, and then he's going to begin to move. Maybe upward like so. And then he's going to land right here. Oh, and you see how the background messed up? Okay, so I'm going to have to fix the positioning of that background. And throughout this whole part, maybe we'll zoom in a bit. So let's go ahead and smooth all these camera moves out, just to see how it feels. Okay. It's not too bad. And then I'll have it slowly continue to move up until about here to where he'll be center frame. So real quick, I'm going to rework some of these elements. So for instance, this background, I'm going to move over so that it's in place with our wall over there. And what I'll do is just move that there. So as he moves, we don't break that illusion. And then secondly, this foreground, I don't mind if it comes into view a little bit, but it's kind of messing up here. So let's do that. Oh yeah, and then I got to figure out why these aren't updating. I want them to be behind this bush. All right, well, that is essentially it, guys. Let me see if I can figure this out real quick. What's going on with these images? Why are you not updating? Why are you not updating? Shows it right there. I can see it. I'm looking right at it. I've upset the Moho gods. They're stalling on me. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to save it. Let me try closing all of Moho down. Then we'll start again. And if this goes through, then I'm just going to call it a day. Say thank you guys again for watching and helping and suggesting. I make better animation when you guys are here saying, that doesn't look right. I need you guys. Come on, Mo. There you are. File open. What did I call that? Was it puddle jump? That's what it was. All right, did it update? Come on. Oh, it looks like it did. All right, let's just watch it. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, anyway, it looks good. I'm going to move that. I need to move that trash can out of the way. I'll do that on my own time. Anyway, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did. I think this looks great, by the way. Thank you for helping me through it. I wouldn't have come up with this on my own. I wouldn't have thought to do a jump. So the fact that you guys came in here and suggested it, that's the reason it's here today. So thank you. And yeah, not too bad. That was what, like 2 hours to get this done? I love it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you all thank you all who participated and just watched and had fun. Anyway, again, guys, this was awesome. Let me freaking out. Sharing. I'll catch you guys next week. And hope you have a great week. Do some great work. Yeah, you know what's up. All right. See you guys.